So your ERP implementation partner is providing you with an implementation project manager. Does that mean that you can use someone greener and experienced on your side to manage the project? The answer to that question is no, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm Jonathan Gross, Managing Director of Pemeco Consulting. We often get questions from our clients and companies implementing ERP, wondering whether or not they need to bring their own experienced ERP implementation project manager to a project. And they want to know that in the context of their systems integrator who's providing its own project manager. Our view of the world is that, you're going to need a really experienced implementation project manager. And it's a non-negotiable requirement. The fundamental reason for this is that ultimately you, the implementing company, is ultimately accountable for and responsible for the success of the implementation. Your integrator, as good as they may be, is going to go off on another project. They have incentives and they have other drivers that are going to perhaps push them to make decisions that might not be in your best interest. So fundamentally, you want to make sure that you're controlling and owning the project. And if you dig into the contractual statement of work, it becomes clear why you need your own project manager. First off, the bulk of the responsibilities are going to be on you, the implementing organization. As you drill into the work breakdown, what you're going to realize is that there's probably an order of magnitude of 4 or 5 or 6 times the effort in hours that's going to be required of the implementing organization as compared to the integrator, your implementation partner. And the implementation partner's project manager is ultimately responsible for making sure they deliver what's on their side of the ledger. Your project manager is ultimately responsible for assuring the success of the project as a whole, making sure your integrator does what they're supposed to do, what your project team is supposed to do as well. So let's unpack this a little bit. You're going to be responsible for driving the collective team made up of your people and the consultants to deliver all of the responsibilities in a project management plan. And the things that fall on your side of the table that are your team's responsibilities and not the consultants are things like system configuration, structured testing, data migration, process mapping, organizational change management, including communications and training. That's a huge whack of responsibility. And so you need someone experienced who's able to manage all of these work streams in a coordinated way, spot risks and issues, and address them in an efficient way before they spiral out of control. In some cases, you may need to push back and even flex the implementation methodology as the project's evolving. Do you need to, for example, add a new conference room pilot? Should you make a decision, a hard decision or a hard recommendation to delay cutover because you foresee too much risk to a successful go live? And these are actions and recommendations and analysis that your project manager is responsible for undertaking. So when you go back to the software contracts, what you're going to realize is that you're in all likelihood have an obligation to apply a project manager for full-time work. The next question is, can we just have a generic project manager? Do we need to have someone schooled in ERP implementations? Again, our view is that ERP implementations are their own unique animals, and you need someone who understands the idiosyncrasies of a project. How do I set up a conference room pilot? In what order should I migrate the data? How many terms should we have in migrating data? How do we work around a gap in the software? How do we shift responsibilities and schedules? And so understanding the idiosyncrasies of an ERP implementation, in our view, is paramount to an effective project manager. So yes, you're probably going to need the system integrator to apply a project manager so that they can manage the systems integrator's responsibilities. And you're going to need a full-time project manager on your side of the table to manage the overall project and the huge volumes of work that are on the implementing organization's plate. So if you like this content, I encourage you to follow us on LinkedIn, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out at pemeco.com.